Hi guys, we're back at it again. We're here with Marisol. Tell us a little bit who you are and what you do.
Yeah, my name's Marisol Colette. I live in Asheville, North Carolina. I am both a therapist and a fashion consultant. So I have created a business where I am a therapeutic image consultant. So what that means is that I support people in finding a personal style that not only looks good, but that feels good too, kind of tending to some of those underlying themes that come up when we're looking for a personal style that we feel confident in. It's like body image and self-esteem and self-worth and personal identity. So that's where I marry my decade-plus career as a therapist, particularly in the field of trauma, with my expertise and love of fashion.
Oh my gosh, what a wonderful calling that you've put together. How long have you been doing it? And what adjustments and changes have you made to kind of adapt to this, what we're going through, and what you want to do going forward? How have you tapped into what we've found is like getting to know yourself, what you need, what you want, how you want to grow your business and your personal life. So can you share a little bit about that with us?
Sure, yeah. The first question was, how did I come into this work? Yeah. Naturally, I think that I feel both of those callings very strongly. So I've always been a helper in my life. I've always loved to see people grow and flourish. And then I've always loved personal style. And I think for a long time, I probably thought those two things were separate until I started to recognize that as I helped my friends, my girlfriends find a personal style that they felt really empowered by and really connected to, what a deep personal transformation that was for them. So how something as maybe seemingly simple or even sometimes seemingly superficial as what we wear has a huge impact in how we show up in the world. And so it is a joy of mine to see people shine in this world. And I think that if we lay the foundation of what we wear and it becomes very much a part of us and an expression of who we are on the inside shown on the outside, then for me, that really sets the foundation for how we show up in the world, which means that we can get to what it is that we're excited to do in this world very quickly and let go of, do I look good? How do I feel in what I'm wearing? And all of those things that can ultimately be a huge distraction to how we show up in the world, doing whatever thing that we love and the impact that we want to have.
Right.
Absolutely. So, and what adjustments are you making in your business now, and how are you working with clients still, and all of that?
As a therapist, I've moved completely to telehealth. So I do, I still am doing trauma-based therapy. I do a form of body-based therapy. It's called somatic experiencing, and then also organic intelligence. So we're really using the body as a portal to healing and doing some reorganization that doesn't just come from trying to think through our problems or think things out. And so, I've moved to an online platform, which was not that different. I've done work with folks who were humanitarian aid workers all over the world. And when I used to teach organic intelligence, my students would come to me for consultation and supervision. And so we were doing a lot of this type of work virtually anyways.
Right.
I think the biggest adjustment has just been, honestly, being in front of the computer so much. I think the biggest adjustment has been for my clients who have never done virtual therapy. And then in general, I'm a very tactile, sensory-oriented person. And so to not be able to touch people, to see people, to hug people, what Julietta and I were talking about, to smell people, to smell
them. I just want to smell them.
I just want to smell other humans. So, that's been an adjustment in that realm. And then when Julietta talked to me about the coming to do this, I had the opportunity to reflect pretty clearly on what has changed through my therapeutic image consulting business. And that one was the biggest pivot for sure.
Right.
And So a lot of what I do is on social media to begin with, but that's not the work that I do. That's just how I get people to know me, and how honestly I have a good time. So it's how I think through my thoughts, how I grow and develop my programs is by sharing information and receiving feedback via social media. So I actually have had a lot of time to up my social media presence, because instead of the commute to work or to my office, or going out to meetings or doing this or that, I start my day pretty quickly after I have my breakfast. I sit down and I start my day, and I've probably gained a few hours of the day back. Yeah. So that's given me time to really create that social media presence. Instantly, I had a huge drop off in clients instantly, because my programs, for those who live in Asheville, so I work with people all over the world, but for those who live in Asheville, which it just so happened that a lot of my clients were in Asheville right as soon as this hit, they are all expecting the in-person time with me.
Right.
I'm in my office, the closet transformations where I go to their home and go through their closets, and then the in-person shopping. So they all said, okay, I want to push pause on this, and for different reasons.
Yeah, I got the same from a few clients. I'm like, okay, fine. I mean, what am I going to say?
What are you going to say?
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, and so, I mean, I think that, and then I even had some people say, I really couldn't imagine focusing on my personal style right now, which is fine. And also, like, we are still all getting dressed, and so that
hey, you never know.
You have no idea what I'm wearing down I swear I'm going to show up to a meeting one day with no pants.
That's it. It's like with quarantine is not still going. It's not still a thing. It could be a new fashion trend. I mean, quarantine fashion trend. Hey.
I love it. But I think it's interesting because so I had created this group called the Soul Spring Style group, right? And it's on Facebook. And the intention of it, I had created it before COVID hit. And the intention of it was that I was going to help people transition from winter to spring, right? It's a big seasonal transition, much bigger than spring to summer. And so now it's become kind of, it's still called that, but it's become this sort of like, how do we get dressed for quarantine, or how do we use this time to take an inventory of how we've been dressing, so that when we come out of quarantine, whenever that may be, I feel ready to show up as this new, transformed, evolved self, because we're all having this transformative experience right now.
All of us. I think all of us are, with everybody that we've talked to, even ourselves. They're like, yeah, we're just gonna do something different, because and again, it's not just us, like everybody that we talk to, because they have the time. We normally are so busy in the busyness of the day and the lives that you don't stop to check. That it's there, but you don't have the time to actually deal with it, so you leave it there in the back end.
Courage. Yeah. I mean, it takes a lot of courage to say, I'm going to step back from society as society is structured, and I'm going to kind of reorganize or reinvent myself. And of course, it's always the big hitters, like a change to our relationship or a health crisis or something like that really puts us in this position. And so, here we are again. It definitely took a crisis for a lot of us to press pause.
Well, and I'm really identifying with, like you're talking about the fashion side of this and that personal identity. I pretty much have to get dressed every day because I'm doing a live DJ set with my boyfriend every night. So we do like an hour dance party basically. And so I'm like, want to look good for that, and want to not even look good. It's more of like, what is my style today? What am I feeling today? So I'm going to my closet and I'm honestly being intentional about what I'm going to wear that day. And it's been so fun because I'm weeding out all that stuff. If I'm like, ooh, when I look at something, get out of here. It's gone. I have no hesitation anymore to weed out the things I need to weed out. And it's kind of a metaphor for what we're all going through, right? I think we're all weeding out the stuff that we don't want in our lives, because why not?
Extra noise.
Yeah. Why not get down to the core of what we really want, who we really are? Why not? That's kind of how our approach has been. So I think the work you're doing is very important and very timely, because this is the time to go through and if you don't love things in your closet, get them out. Go through and do the spring cleaning, and go online and support local artists and go shop and buy jewelry that you fall in love with, buy pieces that you fall in love with. I'm actually wearing a poncho that I bought with Julieta. She was like, I kept going back to it. We were shopping at the pop-up
I'm
shop
like, you gotta
downtown.
get it. You went back like 5 times already. Just freaking get it.
She was like, just buy it. And so I did. And now I love it. And I wear it at least.
She wears it so many times.
Well, I'm trying to not wear it too much.
It's a good thing, though. It's a good thing. I just think
at least once a month I put this on and I love it. And I think that's just something we're all tightening our belts right now. But if you can, like, try to think about your personal style right now, because like you said, we're going to have to reemerge from this.
And you got the time.
Yeah. And so I think, I mean, you're bringing up a great point. So when we think about what we're doing here, we're taking an inventory of our lives, what works, what doesn't work, et cetera, et cetera. And then this kind of opportunity in our closets is a microcosm of that, right? It's just one facet of that. And it's also, clothes are also what we put on our bodies. So it's something we're highly connected to, even if we're somebody who says, I don't really care what I look like, or I don't really care what I wear. That's also part of your personality, to not care what you
not care, yeah.
Yeah, like that's a part of your culture, your personal identity, right? And so in one way or another, we're connected to it because, fortunately or unfortunately, we can't show up naked everywhere, right? So,
unfortunately, I go with the unfortunately.
Immediately.
It will be so free. I'm like, let's go. Come on.
This is that you're not wearing pants. This is my guess and my hope. So anyways, so I created a self-guided closet inventory. So it walks people through a 10-step process to how to go through their closets, because the other thing is that right now what we wear is one of the only things we can control.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right.
And even maybe more so than what we're eating, because if we go through our closets, we can create new looks and find things in there that we haven't had the courage to wear, or that we haven't wanted to wear, or we felt like we didn't have a reason. And we can actually reclaim the things that we have in our own closets and say, you know what? This is a new day, new rules or no rules. I'm going to wear this, like, I had the best post in my group yesterday. This woman who's just like, a couple of days ago, she posted herself in a floral dress, and she's like, I've never worn patterns. She had this whole story around patterns being too much and this, that, and the other, right? Or some things that she learned about patterns. And then now she's wearing patterns every day, and she's posting these photos of her in vintage floral kimonos, seeing her clients, like showing up in the world. And it's so freaking cool. And I'm like, that's something that you can control.
Heck yes. I love that. I put on a freaking like full length dress the other day and rocked it all day around my house and like danced in it later. And it felt so good. It's like one of those things that you can, like you said, you can control it, and you can choose it, and you can choose like to feel that happiness, you know, like, of course we think, oh, I'm just going to wear leggings every day, and that's great. But there is something super powerful that I've been tapping into since this dang 6 weeks of quarantine so far, is like, okay, I want something today. I need to feel comforted. I need something really soft against my skin. Like really being thoughtful and taking the time to like, and even going to the full process of like getting ready. Like that is a beautiful hour of my day. Like nobody's taking that from me, because I want to take the time to like self-care and take a long hot shower and really like go to my closet and pick out the outfit. So tell us more about the groups. Like, do you have group kind of coaching programs? Is that how you describe them?
Yeah. So this group that is on Facebook right now is totally free. And I'm just plugging in as many of my freebies that I have in there. I have a Stretch Your Style Simply Challenge, which walks you through 5 days of going in your closet and picking at least one piece, like a piece of clothing, shoes, or accessory that you haven't worn for one reason or another, and wearing it, right? So it walks you through those 5 days. I have the freebie that's the closet inventory. And then typically when I work with people, I have a 3-step process. So we meet in my office. I have a kind of like a journal writing prompt that they fill out ahead of time that gets into the whats and the whys of what they are wearing, why they wear it, and then how it impacts their life. Like, is it working for them or not? and we meet in my office typically to go over those over the course of a couple of sessions. And then I come to their home and I do a closet inventory, and then we shop together. What I'm finding now with quarantine is that people's needs are really different, and they're fairly specific at the moment. So I had a woman who got, she knew her stimulus check was coming. She wasn't paying for daycare for her 2 kids. They had extra money in their home, and she went online to do some shopping, and she was like, ruh-roh, this is overwhelming. I'm used to going to the store and getting help, and I know where to shop. So she's like, I don't even know where to start. So she hired me from across the country to do online shopping. So I curated a bunch of, carts for her. We narrowed it down to what she wanted. When she got it, we did a try-on session, and then we narrowed it again. And it was amazing. I mean, she was able to not only find outfits that she felt great in, but she felt like really a theme emerged for her. She even had a title for it. I think it was like Clean Swedish Chic or something. It's awesome. But, it's like closer and closer to this identity versus going online and being either overwhelmed and giving up, or just like buying whatever and not really having some sense of or a strategy around it.
Right.
I'm also doing virtual closet cleanouts for people. So the self-guided closet inventory is a great start. However, if at the end of that, not only do you not feel like you've tackled the project, but if some emotional stuff came up that you really need some support with around like things that are nostalgic or things that fit your body when it was a different size, or things that represent some part of you that you're no longer identified with anymore, then I can go back through the closet inventory with you. So I do a virtual closet inventory and help you kind of navigate those, a little bit of the deeper pieces, and then really help you design the outfits that you want made up of just the clothes in your closet. So I have like what I call debundled one of my biggest packages. And then the other thing is I have a color season analysis. So you may remember this from like the 80s when your mom did the color swatches. A lot of women would do that back then. And so I do a color season analysis where we identify what your season is, and then the subcategory, because each season has 3 subcategories. And then we talk about using those colors to adorn yourself, like in getting dressed, as well as to create stuff in your environment that also fits with that season, which is why you like my space so much. It's a cool space, but it is also because it looks good on me, because I'm a summer. And so I find it in these.
You are a summer. You are.
In all ways.
In all ways. Full of sunshine. Yeah, no, I like her group because of that. That's one of the reasons, like, when I am part of the spring one, and it's just so positive all the time. I might not do the actual things because my mind is in a different universe altogether, but I love seeing it because it's on a very positive note, and seeing how people actually feel good identifying in those things and stuff like that.
Well, and it taps into one of our missions, which is like helping encourage people to tap into their creativity.
Yeah.
And so by being thoughtful about what you're putting on your body, and supporting local artists and supporting local makers and all those wonderful things that come with being thoughtful about your identity, infusing creativity in your life. So it's a way for me, and Julieta, you too. I mean, we go to the office when we used to get to go to the office. You'd have a really cute beanie on, or I'd be like, "Oh, I love your sweater." And
with the purpose. That's the thing.
Totally.
I have a lot of accessories. I have a lot of funky stuff that makes me feel my funkiness. So I love wearing them. The funky rings I have, or the beanies that you've seen that they're funky as hell, and I love them for that. I don't honestly don't care if they look good on me. They make me feel good.
Right.
And that's why I wear them. And that's why I wear my Chucks, a lot of times. I could wear heels. They're cute. It's just not my thing. I feel very uncomfortable in them. They hurt my feet. I don't there's nothing about them that makes me feel okay with that. Yeah. So
something else we share.
Yeah, I wear my Chucks. I wear Tums. I love them. Like certain things that I like the way they look, and they're comfortable at the same time, because I do a lot of things in a day. So if I feel uncomfortable, it ruins my day.
Yeah.
That means I have to change, or I have to get them out, or I know I'm going to be in pain or with blisters. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that. So, but most of the times it's the funky things that match my personality that I like to wear. But yeah, now I mean, I do some things, but really not that many because I'm here, and it's okay. I'm okay with that. But a lot of people do need that because they need some extra strength, and I know that helps them a lot.
Yeah.
So I think that I get the help from making art, which is what I've been doing a lot most of the day. And yeah, I don't really care what I wear, but that's just me. If I get to do art.
Yep. Well, I think it's amazing work that you're doing, and I think it's really important. And I think there's a lot of women that, for whatever reasons, like you said, you uncover these reasons and work through these issues.
Yeah,
but they don't take the time, they don't value it, they don't value themselves, whatever it is. And so it's just really, when you see people blossom, because I actually know a few people in your line of work, this personal kind of stylist, but mixed with the therapy that you're doing too, is amazing, because it is totally, I used to love, what was the show? Oh gosh, I can't remember the
What Not to Wear.
Yes. How did you know? Yes. So that show, I just, like, you see these transformations. It's a blossoming. Yeah. It's a real true.
And you see how their face changed from when they were wearing them. Yeah, all of it. Yeah.
All of it. And so, like, me moving here 5 years ago to Asheville, helped unlock that for me a lot more. I think, where you live, like you said, your environment, even in your home office. Last week, Juliette and I were doing these interviews, and I had to do it in my living room, which is not my space that I want to be filming in. It's just not my space, right? And now I get to be back in my treehouse, and it's like, your environment is really important to be thoughtful. And when you said like color schemes, we have our space, orange is our like big, bold, bright color, and we love it. It makes us so happy, and we have touches of it throughout the space. And we were really intentional about everything that's in that space. So I just think it's something important that people need to, value that time for themselves and know that they're worth it. I mean, as corny as that might sound.
Incredible time to reconsider investing in ourselves and to do deeper work that isn't superficial, right? Like, this work is not superficial, and it's not just changing the outside. It's about changing the inside, and then having that align to how we show up on the outside.
Totally. Do you have a few tips to leave us with before we let you go on how people should deal with all this for now?
Yeah. I mean, I really do. I do think that, when it comes to the fashion stuff, the one tip I'll give is, be gentle with yourself. Allow yourself the day after day of the leggings, right? Because as long as we're tuned into what it is that we need, we're going to make the right choice for ourselves. It's when we start to feel like the leggings no longer serve us, or getting dressed feels like a burden. So in either direction, right? It's really about being highly attuned to self, and there really aren't as many distractions. The only real distraction is behind the computer or the phone, and then sometimes in our family environment, but that's pretty isolated. So the phone, set it aside, tune in with yourself, and make a decision that's going to support you being your best self for the day. And that's all you need to know. All the rules are out the window now. And the other thing I'll say is, I do bring a lot of positivity. I bring a lot of hope. But that's to balance what is already out there that is so negative and so challenging. And that's also within myself, right? This hasn't been an easy process. I'm an extrovert. I lost money in the beginning of this transition in a big way. And I feel fearful in a lot of ways over the unknowns of it all. So for me personally, it's just like, it's gentleness. And I start every day with prayer and meditation, and I do some readings from different books, and I journal a la the artist way. So I have some practices that I have not been skimping on because I need them deeply to support me. And, when the weather outside sucks, sometimes my day sucks. And I just, it's okay. It's really okay.
We're still healthy and alive.
It's true.
And that's what I keep on telling everybody when they're, how you doing? I'm like, well, I woke up this morning. I'm pretty thankful that I did, and that I'm not sick either. So it sucks that we're isolated and I can't smell humans, but eventually it will be okay, and we'll get to smell each other again, and it'll be fine. So thank you for sharing all this with us.
Yeah, we appreciate
me.
yeah, and we'll share it out in the world, and we'll see how we keep on, navigating through all this craziness. But like I said, we're still alive.
Thanks for everything you're creating.
Thank you.
Blessings all.